Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael King, a security analyst with the Red Sky Alliance. Today, I will be talking about Cerberus Android Malware and some of its features. As always, today's threat brief also contains information gathered from open source and WAPAC Labs collections over the last week. Next slide, please. For the agenda today, we're going to briefly discuss Cerberus Android Malware. We will then cover recent data breaches and cyber attacks in open source and social media. Going over 7 days of trending, including the latest APT activities, botnet activity, cloud security, blacklists, and keylogger activity. Next slide, please. From the Sandbox Analysis, we see it has the ability to execute code after installation, installs a monitor for incoming SMS, then continues to passively monitor SMS through provider telephony, SMS received. It also has the ability to place and send SMS, place calls and send SMS. We also observed it calling to a C2 URL drive2.ru. Next slide. Here we see the permissions that are requested and the device admin profile being changed. Permissions prompted are sending and receiving SMS, full internet access, setting alarms, tasks, wake lock, and adding and deleting packages, etc. It also has a form to overlay the lock screen to steal credentials. It seems to be utilizing polymorphism using Kotlink's runtime library to serialize objects. This sample is targeting auto enthusiasts with forms pertaining to Carfax and other auto parts and equipment pages. Also, from the last slide, they call to the C2 drive2.ru, which maybe they wanted to include that auto in their domain so that you can hide their malicious activity. I did not find anything calling for Knox or Google Authenticator specifically in my static analysis, leading me to believe that it's a plugin that they may download and install after it's been running in the environment, including fake forms. Next slide, please. This week's gray noise activity. We see high detection in SMB related activities, SMB scanner, internal blue, and it looks like internal blue detections are likely in some way associated with port 445 SMB. The Mirai detection may be related to port 23 telnet activity or Internet of Things botnet variants. Data Communications Business Group beat out PT Corp, and China gray noise activity this week has remained fairly consistent with other weeks' reportings. Next slide, please. And open source and social media, U.S. Cyber Alarm Commission proposed layered deterrence and defend forward policy to be implemented for the Pentagon. WHO reports 5-fold increase in cyber attacks since SARS-CoV-2 pandemic. Google warns of government-backed cyber groups targeting healthcare organizations. FBI warns social games trends are vulnerability and could leak your info to threat actors. So people playing those silly games on Facebook, telling everybody their cat's names. The Investment Association has launched a new cyber threat intelligence platform, so that's going to be interesting to check out. Next slide, please. Last week, we recorded approximately 267,000 of the indicators listed above. These collections included in our threat recon, keylogger, malicious emails, and sinkhole traffic. Oh, I just lost my slides here. Oh, I'm back. The numbers on the slide show the indicators in the respective collections. Indicators are available to paid Red Sky Alliance members weekly, as well as our blacklist, which comes in CESV, and Fortiseam, and Proofpoint formats. Next slide, please. These are APT and botnet indicators collected in the last 2 weeks. We had 6,214 unique APT indicators in the past 7 days. This is up 1,318 indicators from last week's reporting. You can use your two-factor authentication to log into CTAC and download the APT indicators discussed today. Please contact us on Slack or via email for any assistance. On the right, you can see our top sinkhole statistics sorted by malware. Next slide, please. Topping the list this week is Solity with Shiz and Korkow in second and third place. We see Loki back in fourth place position. The Solity detection being so high could be due to generic detection associated with cryptors and obfuscating being detected as Solity. Next slide, please. Botnet activity over the last 7 days remains fairly consistent with prior trending. ChinaNet has replaced Jinrong Street at the top, but Bharti Airtel and VNPT have maintained their positions in the top 3. Jinrong Street, our consistent weekly top botnet ASN, remains absent and likely renamed or reallocated. Next slide, please. In cloud security, we see botnet activities in the same cloud environment as usual. Amazon takes, Peak 10 takes the top spot with Amazon, Microsoft, and Alibaba close behind. Microsoft likely due to the Azure hosting. TierPoint, GoDaddy, Rackspace are all still high risk environments this week. Precautionary risk hosting environments this week we have ONR and SharkTech. Last is the low risk hosting environments such as HE.com, and they've been observed in high and medium as well, but they've been low risk for a few weeks now, but shouldn't be taken lightly despite this week's low caution. Next slide, please. In our malicious emails collections this week, we saw 2 attempts against Kraber.de. We also observed a whack attack campaign targeting BalticSeaForum.org and amchckl.com. That would be that PSW Trojan there. We see another UTF-8 encoded subject line, so likely Chinese, Russian, or another language that requires UTF-8 character set. Next slide, please. Our blacklists are published weekly. On the left-hand side, you can see our keylogger status. Last week, we observed 60,201 sinkhole connections from new unique IP addresses. 24 unique email accounts compromised with keyloggers. Please go to redskyalliance.org to inquire additional support, complete blacklists, red X-ray API access, and next slide, please. And thank you all for joining us today. Please visit our Red Sky Alliance portal at redskyalliance.org for additional cyber intelligence reporting. If you have any questions regarding topics briefed today, please get in touch with jmckee@webpackslabs.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you again next week.